Hello folks, welcome back. So we're at United Downs today, heading towards the clock tower. Now this chimney you see here is not a chimney. That was actually built to house a clock. The clock that was here, I believe it could be in Redroof or St Day. One of the clocks, either in St Day or Redroof, used to be here. And I've been told that when this was here, you could hear it all around this whole area, you know. So we've got a shaft over there, which is interesting. Looks like people might have got in there. Yeah. So this is called a back castle, folks, look. You see that? That's quite common around here. And quite a few of my friends have been down in there. Not that particular one, but ones like that. SRT job. We're training on that, but we're not quite there yet. Oh, there's an airplane up there. Is that Dakota they were on about? Could be, couldn't it? No, I doubt it. Right. So there's lots of shafts around here. And I think what we'll do is we'll just have a little look in here, because I haven't been in there for years. There's no signs to say not to, so bollocks to it. Let's go, folks. Kernet EXP pushing its boundaries again. Yeah, I like it. Right, so in the base, in here, this is where you used to wind the clock up there, look. So that's where they used to do that. It's pretty inaccessible right now, unfortunately, but there is an entrance down here, I believe, where you can go underneath the clock tower base. This is what this is, folks. This is, or was, the clock tower. Here we go, look at this. Whoa. Let's have a look, shall we? Yeah? Okay, so... Whoa. Right, I need to get the torch. Get the torch, Kerno. Yeah. Right. Hang on a minute, folks. We'll do our best. I do believe there's a floor up there. I did look in it years ago, but you do forget how things... different things, you know. Obviously I'm from this area, so you know, we have been in here before, but like I said, it's a very long time ago. Alright, so we got the Seeker 2 Pro. Right, got the torch on. So there we go. How about that? Oh, there's the floor, look. Can you see that? So you've got a granite floor there. Granite coins. They look like granite, don't they? They're concrete. It could be concrete, couldn't it? But that's the floor where they used to wind. There was a bat up there, so we can't stay there too long. Lightning conductor, somebody's nicked it, which is very nice of them, isn't it? So, yeah. So there you go, folks. We've actually been inside. I'll just lock this torch out a minute. We've actually been inside the old clock tower base. Just shove that in there out the way a minute. I don't really want to lose that because it was not bloody cheap. Nothing's bloody cheap these days. Right, bear with me. I'm just doing the bag up so we don't lose anything. Right. Okay. Right, here we go. The water bottle's gone all haywire. Right, there we are. Right, so let's get out of here. Yeah, get out of here. Don't like it. So let's go back to where we were. We'll get over here, I think. Yeah, we like pushing our boundaries a bit, folks. Not too extreme, but just it'd be too rude not to. It'd be rude not to have a look, wouldn't it? Basically. Right, so Now back in the 90s there was a lot of traveller type people around here living in vans and tents and that, and I do remember it very well. People that live around here would know that. They had a lot of problem with them, they couldn't get rid of them, basically. Now it's all overgrown and everybody's all worried about the plants and the bees and all that, which is understandable, but the archaeology's interesting in my book. Not so much the bloody trees and that, because this wasn't like this when it was working, folks. This was all barren land right up until the 90s. We know firsthand. Right, so we got another engine house here. So this one is Taylor's, I think it's called. Taylor's shaft. The shaft is capped, but you can actually see it down there. I think we'll go down there. Didn't Two Wheel Exploration come here recently? Yeah, he did, didn't he? I haven't seen him for a while. Don't know what's going on. We've had no calls from him, folks. So if we don't get a call, then we don't see him. Alright, quite loose ground here. So just take it nice and steady. So, chimney, folks. Now, this chimney is quite tall, as you can see. Look. There you are. The reason there's a chimney here is basically for the boilers of the engine. And what a chimney is for, if in case you didn't know, is for draft. Now, you need that draft to draw the fire. The fire would have been a coal fire, Welsh steam coal. And when this mine, because this is a pumping engine house, this one, by the way, when this was working, the engine house would have been pumping water out 24 hours a day non-stop, because the water table in Cornwall is fairly high. As you may have guessed, we are surrounded by water here in Cornwall. Water is a barrier, and that barrier needs to be removed. Let's have a look down here a minute, to allow the miners to work deep underground. Now we know all this because something that we used to do. We was a tour guide for a well-known mine. Now look at those leaves down in there. Look, see how they're flapping about? That's the draft being drawed because of the chimney, which is drawing the air in, which in turn would draw the fire. Yeah, so there would be a flue here, which originally would have went down to the boiler house, which was connected to this engine house, because this was a steam engine basically. And we know quite a bit about steam engines because it's a passion of mine, steam engines, and we do have things to do with steam engines because we are the chief cleaner at the Houston Railway of number 2000. So we know what we're talking about. So this engine house here, the boiler house would have been outside of here, probably outside here. 2 Cornish boilers or Lancashire boilers, which would produce the steam, which would then make this engine work. Now this engine is a pumping engine, and what it is that this ground here would have been out there. There would have been a wall here, and down there, down the bottom bit down there, it's called the cataracts, is where the weights would have been, and the cylinder of the engine would have been on this level that I'm standing on now. This would probably be 40 to 50 inch cylinder, and it would have had 3 chambers. So we're at the driving floor or driving chamber, and where I'm standing to right now is probably maybe a bit lower, but where that window is there, that's the plug doorway. So the boiler house would have been over there, folks, without a doubt. And that's where the crew would have went out into the boiler house to say, chuck some more coal on, boys, bloody engine's slowing down. Now this doorway here is the plug doorway, and this wall here is the thickest wall of the engine house. It's called the bob wall, and it's engineered to take the weight of the bob. Now the bob is the great big cast iron beam, which would have, the engine, basically the cylinder was standing right here, and the connecting rod would go up and down, which then would rock the bob up and down, which then outside in the shaft, we'll go down there in a minute, folks, we'll just take our time, because my shoes are not really the right shoes. We'll carry it on down there. So Taking it nice and steady. Yes. We'll get back to what we was talking about in a second. Yes. Righty. Okay, right, so we're outside of the engine house now. So the bob, which would have been up there, yeah, you can just see some staining there. That's the oil from when the bob was there. So it would have rocked up and down, which would have rocked a series of flat rods, which would have been inside the shaft. Now the shaft is, I think it's 600 meters. You can see water down the bottom there. I don't know if you can see that or no. Can you see that? There you go. See that down there? That's where the water table is here in this valley. So it's below the valley here. I was told that this is 600 meters deep, this one. So it's quite a way down. So there would have been a series of rods, and there would have been balance bobs at stations so far down, which would have counterbalance the weight of the pump rods going down, which would have been a massive wooden beam with loads of metal plates holding it together. And then the water would be pumped up in stages, and it would have been up through a pipe called the rising main, and then that there would have been pumped out into the valley here. So in this valley here, before these tailings were put here, sorry about the wind, there was a tram line that went through here, standard gauge, and I think there is remains of it down there, but it's difficult to see these days. But it was the Redruth to Chasewater Railway that went through this valley, and down at the bottom there is remains of a cutting which they was going to tap into the railway, which went to what's it called, Poldice Arsenic Refinery. They was going to tap in. They started building the embankment down there, and they started doing the cutting, but they actually ceased. I don't know why they ceased, but they did cease. But it would have been quite a nice little to do, and there would have been standard gauge railway locomotives going through this valley here, which was the Redruth to Chasewater Railway. So yeah, not many people know that, not unless you're a historian or interested in history like myself. Right, so there we go, folks. So I hope you enjoyed that. So there's the engine house. I think it's called Taylor's. We'll just find out for sure in a minute. Pretty sure that's called Taylor's engine house. I never even looked at the board. So a Wheel Virgin, that's what it's called. So like I said, look, remember I said a minute ago about the engine house and the bob? There you are, look, and that's the pump rod going down, look. Okay, this is a balance bob. There's a series of those in the shaft. There's one there, look, see? I was right when I see. This here pipe here is called the rising main. Look, you can see it there, look. See that I'm exactly on the money, folks. I know what I'm talking about, you see. So yeah, all this has been taken out of the shaft. All this metal and wooden structure has been taken out. So it used to go down quite a way, as you can see, look. So there's the cylinder bottom, plunger bottom, and that basically is like a bicycle pump. And what that does, it sucks the water up in stages, folks. There's one there, look. There you go. All right. So there you are. So I know what I'm talking about. There you are, folks. So I hope you enjoyed that. The next bit you see now will be the drone video. See you then, folks. Cheers.